And welcome back to the SpinTV tournament coverage of the 2017 Gentlemen's Club Challenge, presented by Innova Champion Disc here at the Wildhorse Golf Club, just outside of Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm your host, Avery Jenkins. Sitting alongside me, the disc golf guy, Terry Miller. Thanks for joining us again.
Avery, I'm fired up. I managed to get a few hands of blackjack in between the front and the back nine. I'm ready to go here.
As I said, we're on to the back nine with the lead card. Day 2, round 2. We got Ricky Wysocki, Pasi Koivu, E McCray, and Nikko Locastro.
It's been a beautiful facility. This is one of the 3 courses that we've seen this weekend. We're here at the Innova golf course for round number 2. Let's get to this back nine.
It's hole number 10. 715 feet, par 4, relatively open hole, especially for a golf course. OB to the right, OB to the left, big green short left of the basket, and a massive bunker area behind, but I believe it's playing casual. So very wide open hole, especially for a golf course, and they're going to unleash some big drives. I hope to see it.
Throughout this round, everyone should keep in mind that the general course rule is a golf green is considered out of bounds. You play it from where it was last inbounds. And if you go into most of the bunkers, you play that as an OB penalty, but you play it where it lies. You don't bring it to where it entered the green, or I'm sorry, the sand trap.
Agreed. No, that's what happens here. On here, we're using their obstacles, using what golf has to bring to the table as far as what bunkers provide for a nice difficulty. Very few obstacles on some of the holes, but on a golf course, I think they did a good job laying this course out, especially putting 3 courses on one complex. Typically they use 18 disc golf holes per 9 golf holes, and they really stretched this place out to accommodate 580 participants this weekend. Nikko Locastro, big flex shot out into the open. Long par 4, trying to set up a second shot and living on the edge.
Just short of that hazard bunker. How often do we see Ricky Wysocki is out, as in furthest away from the basket? That doesn't happen too frequently here on the tour.
Obviously known for his putting and long-range putting, Ricky Wysocki is a very far thrower as well. Nikko Locastro throwing that second shot a little long backside of the green, backside of the basket. Not sure where that ended up. And that's where it is. Putting out of the bunker. And continues to have the putting woes. Ricky with a rare miss off the top frozen link of the basket, kicking back right and out. Pasi and Johnny Mac making easy work of this par 4 with tap-in birdie 3s. Hole number 11, 374 feet, par 3, over the valley. It's a bunch of obstacles and trees and bushes, and they're trying to navigate those, throwing a shot over the top, and the pin tucked tight to the right.
As you said, Avery, out here on the golf course, they used all of the available landscape. We find them playing across fairways, down fairways, using any and all elevation out here as well.
A nice smooth forehand shot by Pasi, really utilizing that shot for some of the longer holes, but absolutely pegging this shorter hole across the valley. Johnny Mac, not known for throwing a forehand, opts for the backhand putter shot and puts it down there inside the circle.
This hole should set up very well for Wysocki's smooth forehand, as it should be filtering right down toward the pin. And he finds himself easily within putting range. Again, Nikko busting out a forehand. We saw that in the front nine, and this one seems to be a little bit more effective.
A shot you need to have in your back pocket, especially with the breaking right to left, fast fairways, fast greens. A good forehand shot will definitely be an advantage out here on this golf course.
And Nikko trying to get back on track. As you saw in the front nine, he's been struggling a little bit with his putting today. We're going to see if he can pick this up on the back nine. The entire card, putting them all down. It looks like 4 birdies here on hole 11.
Lead card doing what they do, all-star birdies. As Ricky maintains a 2-throw lead over Johnny Mac. Hole number 12, 311 feet. Par 3, up the hill, over the green, and then back down the backside. Very fast green as it leads down to the OB path behind it. Now, Terry, what are your thoughts as far as what a golf course is to what a disc golf course is? It's a very different play as you see these players kind of navigating, throwing different shots than they might throw on a golf course or a disc golf course.
Yeah, we're definitely not navigating through as many trees as Johnny McCray throws a perfect shot there. But as I mentioned a moment ago, it looks like this design utilized almost every tree that they could here between the holes, between the fairways, and then you have to bring those bunkers into play as well as those greens. So I think they need to play for the skips. I think they need to look at their angles and make sure that they're playing and adjusting accordingly, because something can get up and move on you really quickly, as Nikko just skirts over on the blind shot, and he's going to find himself looking at a great birdie opportunity. But first, here's Pasi.
Pasi again with another long-range birdie putt. Knocks him down from about 45 feet. Massive putt, just like the one on hole 1 to start this round. Getting it going again on the back nine. Rick making easy work of the downhill putt in for birdie. Again, the lead card. The lead card doing what they do best and putting on the show and knocking down the birdies. Here's another all-star birdie frame for the top players here.
We're going to have to keep our eyes as Paul Ulibarri has moved into 10 under par overall, along with Paul McBeth and Bobby Musick.
Yeah, making some big plays off the second and third card. Hole number 13, 368 feet, a par 3, up over the rise, and they're trying to carry the distance, but again, another strategically placed basket on the backside of this bunker.
During the opening round, I had watched a disc come in on hole number 14. It hit the basket and rolled into the bunker. A long putt was needed just to save the par. And you could see something like that happening here on this hole. You can have what looks to be a great ace run, but then still find yourself in a bunker if there's a bad kick or a roll away.
I think what makes this shot very difficult is it's up over the rise, trying to carry that distance, but get it high enough and get it out there far enough. Then, of course, that bunker short of the basket. It's going to be something these players really want to avoid, with Ricky tailing a shot off long to the left, maybe leaving a long putt back at the basket. Nikko getting it high enough, trying to carry the distance, trying to get it long enough, and attacking the basket. Great shot by Nikko Locastro, just putting it around the circle's edge.
And as you're seeing some strategy here by our players, that's got to stay and not roll toward, and he's all right. But as I was saying, the strategy, we see the other 3 competitors all essentially bail out short and left. Nikko was very aggressive with it. The rest of the guys were playing much safer, and they ended up being a little bit short and left, kind of trying to take that bunker out of play.
Pasi another long run. You just see the planes in the background flying into McCarran. Everything's close here in Vegas. Nikko getting it going with a birdie, playing aggressive, and it paying off on the risk reward.
Johnny McCray and the rest of the group are going to lose at least a stroke here to Locastro, who's put a charge together. He's got 3 straight birdies, and after a rough start, it looks like he's going to be taking the tee on this next hole, hole number 14.
Ricky Wysocki maintaining that 2-throw lead over Johnny Mack, and as you said, players are moving up the ranks right now, coming off other cards with some really hot scores. Hole number 14, 589 feet, a par 4, a nice wide open hole, something you can actually get out there and crush it. This is a shorter par 4, but man, that green situated short of the basket is going to come to play really easy on this hole.
Apparently Nico's getting warmed up. He's taking the sweatshirt back off, and he's ready to air one out here.
Yeah, I saw Eagle McMahon earlier in the round step up to this hole and absolutely launch a shot at the basket going pin high left and deep at the pin, I believe, on the tee shot, carrying the green the entire way. 500 and plus 580 feet.
And that flirts with the OB cart path. However, it comes up just short. He'll be fine. Johnny McCray not quite with the power here. He's going to keep this low. Maybe a little too low, but he's going to keep it low. He wants to make sure that he comes up short of the green so he can have a simple approach up and over. He's really just playing this for a 3. And it looks like we're going to see the same of Ricky Wysocki. I don't know if conservative is quite the word. It's really daunting to even think about trying to throw it that far. Very few of our players can carry that green and get all the way to this pin.
Yet with that much OB and danger around the basket, it's really not going to pay off trying to attack it to get a 2 when you can easily just do that, chip it up there and drop it in for a 3 on this par 4.
Speaking of chips, Ricky's trying to cash in here. He's been playing very well this round. He's playing here in this opening. Are we seeing some of the residual effect of Australia and the rest of the off-season work he's put in? He's bringing his A game this weekend.
Yeah, I definitely had an early start to the year playing over in Australia in January, when typically this is the home opener for a lot of players coming out to Vegas, coming out to Memorial next week in Phoenix. He had a little tournament warm-up, as you say, playing over in Thailand early in the year, and then with a big major win in Australia.
What is there, about a 90-degree difference between where he was in Australia and where we are here in Vegas?
It sure seems like it. Definitely playing different. It was on a golf course at the Aussie Open, but the plastics just seemed to be melting in your hand because it was so hot out there. Ricky Wysocki moves to 16 under. Hole number 15, 558 feet, another par 4, and a far hole at that. It's a good distance shot, but almost kind of one of those tweener holes, you might say, for a shorter par 4, with the basket situated tucked to the right side.
Avery, you had mentioned in the front 9 that this is in fact a par 60 course, which is 4 strokes harder than their opening round. We're seeing these players be relatively aggressive and scoring pretty well out here thus far, especially Ricky Wysocki. But this is a par 60 course, and Nikko Locastro is getting it together here on this back half. Looks like was that a little redirect that might have helped him out a little bit?
Wow, it looks like he split the branches of that tree there.
I'd rather be splitting aces if you're asking me.
Absolutely. Double down, double down. Pasi Koivu again, really not trying to play too aggressive, just taking off enough on that forehand shot to put it down the fairway, leaving an easy second shot approach to the basket.
McCray getting caught up by that tree and actually shooting straight down. Now we're seeing a little bit more of the shadows. We're moving into almost an early evening time frame here. McCray's put a sweatshirt on. He's gotten a little bit chilly. And it doesn't look like there was enough flex on that by Ricky Wysocki.
Yeah, it's amazing how cold it gets in the desert. Once that sun starts dropping, it gets fairly chilly out here. And you see those long shadows. We play to the back of the course, and when we make that turn, we're heading back toward the clubhouse and playing back into the sun for these final holes. Giving it a nice solid run, playing a little more aggressive, but putting it up there close to the basket for Pasi.
Yeah, And was Ricky about to chase that one down? I know he thinks everything he throws up's going in, but he was almost ready to run that one down.
Pretty much if he can see the basket, he's going to try to putt at it and try to put it in. Nikko with a solid putt knocks it down.
Just a little bit of a tester on that comeback, and that's going to bite him as he misses that from inside 25 feet. And that flops in on the good side for Johnny McCray. And anything that's really not an eagle or a birdie, Ricky seems to be disappointed with it.
Yeah, these tap-in pars are very disappointing. You know, not what you're looking for if you're Ricky Wysocki, current world champion. Moving to 17 under with a 2-throw lead over Johnny Mac, still maintaining that. Hole 16, par 4, 733 feet. Another fairly wide open hole on the drive. And then as you get closer to that basket, you got that golf green situated short. And it's really going to be hard to really attack this hole with everything you got. It's going to be a second shot playing very aggressive into this green and very fast backdrop on the backside of the basket.
We are also seeing that water hazard on the far right side. They want to make sure they stay away from that. That's a little less forgiving than when they're going in one of the bunkers.
That sun is dropping quick as you see the colors of the greens and the fairways change to a slight orange. And these players thrown directly into the sunlight. Now what Johnny Mac was looking for, early left, catching a tree, not getting the carry in the distance down the fairway. Ricky Wysocki playing a little wider on that tree, just trying to get it out in the open. A little hop, skip, and a jump. Beautiful landscape here on a golf course, though. I think it's definitely a different kind of game, Terry, but it's cool to watch these players get a chance to really air it out, but then navigating around the greens, around the baskets, and avoiding the bunkers and the golf greens out there is really fun to watch.
Just the overall scenery out here at this Wildhorse Golf Course and Club is just amazing. You're seeing the mountains in the backside, but also having 3 courses on one facility, nearly 600 competitors. That just speaks volumes of the efforts that Innova Champion Disc, along with the Las Vegas Disc Golf Club, what they're putting into this to make this such a memorable event. And as you said, kicking off the 2017 National Tour campaign as Wysocki's getting that dialed in for his approach.
Yeah, Gentlemen's Club Challenge has been a staple on the PDGA Tour for many, many years. And as of last year, it was the first time they actually used the Wildhorse facility. So in years previous, we were playing out at Sunset Park, and it's cool to see the progression and development as they progress from a city park out to an actual golf course. And it's just great for the shots, great for the players, great for the spectators, and great for the views. This is a beautiful, beautiful place.
I've heard there's even a thing or two to do at night here in Las Vegas. I'm going to check some of that out after the tournament wraps up.
Depends on one night. Weekdays are kind of slow. Might want to wait for the weekends. Oh,
and
Rick.
that, again, that seems to be a... If Ricky's missed, it's been a little bit high, and it seems to almost spit him straight right. It's been really weird to see 3 or 4 of those happen to Ricky Wysocki.
He's hit what's called the frozen link. That top link sometimes it doesn't react the same. It doesn't draw the disc back in the basket. And he's just been a little high, either hitting that top link or the band on at least 3 of the putts this round. Gotta stay warm out there. It's getting chilly.
Yeah, Nikko is getting it done, getting ready for hole 17 with Wysocki sitting at 17 under par and a charging Paul Ulibarri coming in off that second card. He's sitting at 13 under trying to make a run to find himself on the lead card come third day.
Hole number 17, 538 feet, a long par 3, stretching down the fairway and curving to the right. The basket's actually tucked down a little hole, kind of tucked away. A lot of players trying to play the aggressive flex out Anheuser, or players that have enough power, they can take the big hyzer route trying to attack this basket.
Now, with this sloping fairway, is there going to be any chance for possibly a backhand roller, something that can go out and finish down into the right?
It seems like it sets up perfectly for it.
Again, our sunlight fading here. We're going to have to turn on the additional camera power and lighting to make sure that we can see these final 2 holes.
Now, there was a concern during this round, right before they played this hole, by Michael Downs, the event manager, PDGA event manager, talking about possibly if they don't finish in the light, they would actually have to come back the following day and finish their final hole the next morning. And I know a lot of these players, you know, especially with the nightlife and a few other things going on in the city, they don't want to come back early to play one hole and then have a tee time later in the day. So they're going to try to, I think, pick up the pace a little bit, speed up here a little bit, and try to finish these last 2 holes.
Yeah, there would be nothing less fun than coming out at 6:45 or 7 o'clock in the morning just to play 1 or 2 remaining holes and then not have to tee off again until about 1:40 or 2 o'clock. So we'll see if they rush through that. A few birdies will probably help that. Ricky Wysocki giving it a run.
Yeah, players not playing really aggressive here. I think they're just trying to get past this hole, get onto the 18th, and get it finished. The daylight is creeping quick, and it's actually brighter in the camera than it actually is in real life, which is very fortunate for this video and for you guys watching this right now.
And Nikko from the throw-in.
Wow. No way to speed it up better than to take less throws on this golf course. Knocking it in from long range, Nikko Locastro with a big hyzer putt.
Hyzer putt from the knee. When's the last time you saw that happen?
It's been a while. It's been a while. It's always good to see players really navigate and do what they got to do, put the disc in the basket. Ricky Wysocki, 17 under, and as you said, Paul Yabari making the...
Here to talk about the strike a little bit. Very much like a turn, a little bit longer, a little bit faster. It is not a disc you really want to throw into the wind. No wind situation, downwind. Downwind is awesome. It's a disc that you can really crank starting on a hyzer, and it'll give you a lot of distance. It'll stretch out a 350 thrower to 375, maybe even 400.
The Shrike is a speed 13 disc, so obviously gonna have a pretty wide rim, but it's got a nice comfortable feel in the hand, fairly shallow, but it's got a pretty easy high-speed turn where I'm able to get it out and then get a kind of a late flip and glide. Quick disc, easy kind of effortless distance.
Could go right into my lineup. As one of my distance drivers, it has potential to possibly fly further than some of my other drivers like my Turn and my Destroyer. Yeah, I like how it feels. I like the G-Star plastic. I think it's a pretty good disc.
And here's our final hole of the day. Hole number 18, 732 feet, a par 4, but a very difficult par 4. Tee shots, you're trying to lay up to a certain landing area and then crossing over with a second shot, trying to get at least a look at the birdie 3. Lots of water, lots of OB, lots of cart pass, lots going on the final hole of this Innova course, closing out round 2.
Avery, you mentioned there seems to be a pinch point where the plays have very little room to land, so they're going to have to commit to a shot, whether that's to bite off as much as they can on their opening drive or to lay it up and possibly just play for that 4.
As the sun continues to drop, very dark out here for the players, but they're professionals. They know where their disc is going. They throw it out there in the open to that landing area, that landing zone, trying to set up this nice second shot to the basket. Pasi Koivu next to throw. A little chip shot, hyzer.
Yeah, this seems as if they're doing just that. They're playing a little bit conservative off this tee just to set themselves up after that.
I haven't heard of a few players talking about maybe clubbing down on a few of these holes late in the round just because it's getting so cold and just the texture in the field, the disc in your hand, it's changing throughout the round as the temperatures drop. Can't really see it. That basket is back there, tucked back into the right. And getting darker by the second. Pasi Koivu throwing it up there short left of the basket, leaving himself a longer birdie putt. Rick, same thing, a little more aggressive, a little closer, should be inside the circle.
The players must carry over the green. This is Johnny McCray going right toward the gallery. There's a cart path over there. And Nikko puts a really good move on it, and it's coming in quickly. However, it seems to be left, and that's where it finishes. After putting together a number of shots in a row, Nikko was kind of getting back on it, making a charge, and then a little bit of a struggle here to finish out the round.
These players are playing noticeably quicker and faster, just trying to get this round over with. Try to get it up there, get a birdie, but hopefully a par. Just trying to get out of here, get done with the round. And Ricky, again, another high putt off the band for birdie. Who's back there? Who's back there in the shadows? That's Pasi Koivu tapping in the par putt.
I've heard of ghost cards before, Avery, but I think this is a whole nother level. And McCray is in as we're rounding out here our second round. We're only halfway through the tournament. Excited to bring you some live action through Smashbox TV along with the collaboration in SpinTV on the third and fourth round. So everyone can look forward to that. But Ricky Wysocki is in the lead with a 17 under par. Johnny McCray at the 15. Yuli at 13. Looks like we're going to have a great second half to this tournament.
Eagle McMahon off the 5th card to make the charge at the lead card. Tied for third with Ulibarri. Lead card, third round. And we're going live with the Disc Golf Guys. SpinTV Smashbox bringing it to you from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Wildhorse Golf Club for the 2017 Gentlemen's Club Challenge presented by Innova Champion Discs.